Howdy everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about magic from your pockets, right? Pocket management, as well as what kind of things you can carry to have a show, right? Because you've got so many pockets on your person. So why don't we go ahead and jump into it. We have all of my stuff is right here in my hat. All of this stuff can be carried in my pocket, and there are different slots. Think about it like if you play Dungeons and Dragons or any video games or anything like that. You got slots, right? So, for instance, I have a deck trick, right? Some decks. I have some playing cards, and those would be carried in my pocket. Now, I could carry one or two decks, depending. And typically, what I like is I'd like to have one deck that's set up with some type of gimmick or prop or some type of special effect, and the other one I like to be clean, something that I can. Doesn't matter what I do from the get-go. So really, that way I have some options. Now, I like to carry toys. I like to carry fidget things. I like to carry things that I can play around with and kind of really get the idea of some concepts and ideas out there. So I carry something different from time to time. And this flavor of the month happens to be the cloning cube. I really enjoy that. Okay. I'm not a huge rubber band fan, but I do carry rubber bands on me. I do more with the cards, rubber bands with the cards, than I do by rubber bands by themselves. But there you go. Rings. Rings are fantastic because you can have them on your person. So this is like, these things can be worn on your person. And so you're not even taking up a slot, really. I mean, it's a slot, but it's your wrist and your fingers. This technically is designed to be worn on something. And unless you, I mean, eventually it'll come off. But I would just practice, not practice, I would play around with it a little bit to see how secure this is going to be for your lifestyle. But theoretically, if you had some type of bag or jacket, you could keep it clipped here, and then that way when you're ready to use it, you would simply grab it from the bottom, pull it off, this clip would stay there, and then you could then produce your cube. So you have options. Now, keeping in mind that this cube is, it's a toy, so that's the fun of it, right? So you could technically wear that. But this packs flat, and that's the thing that goes with it, so that would be fine. Okay, next up we have our coins, right? So I've got a little coin bag, and I change out what coins I carry with me based on what routines I'm practicing. And right now, this is what I'm carrying, because I like to do, without like showing this coin off, you could do this as a shrinking coin effect. You know, so you just give it a little squeeze and now it's smaller. But of course, if you blow it up and stretch it, it gets bigger. So you could do that as a shrinking coin and a bigger coin, especially since we're tying in the jumbo, which I need to get some bigger coins because this is just not, it's not big enough. You know what I mean? You always got to go bigger. So I've got these for a transposition effect. We've done this recently on the channel. You simply start with a coin underneath here, and now you're ready to go, because now you can take this coin and put it away. Now, the way I prefer to do this trick is I prefer to do a coins across idea first, so you wouldn't even need the extra coin. You could take this coin, put it into this hand, take this coin, turn it into that coin, and then have this coin appear over here. Then you would load this coin. Yeah, it would look something like this. So if we were to take this, throw it into the hand, okay, this hand is presumably empty for the purpose of this trick, okay, but now you have this going on here, which is really brilliant because you just toss that coin into the hand, you show it, then you shake it a little bit, and now that coin is gone and reappeared over here. So with these 5 coins, with the finishing ending being the jumbo coin, you have options. You have so many options there. So that's the current coin routine that I'm doing with that. And then we've got my thumb tip with my ribbon, which I do. There's a handful of things that I like to do with this. If I really needed to, I could use the thumb tip for some magic, on the go magic, salt, sugar, all that kind of stuff. But what I really like to do with it is I partner it with the ring, and I do my ring through silk, and that's my opener. So that's kind of what I've got going on there. And then of course I have the hat, because I do some hat juggling. And then I also throw it behind my back. But that's what I've got for that. So the hat is worn on the head. So half of these items are pretty much are worn on my person almost. So let's talk about some pocket management. Where do I put this stuff? So obviously, if I'm getting set up for the day, these go on here. I also have my other ring that I wear, so I have 2 rings. So that's what my hands would look like. And then I have my phone in my left pocket, and I typically put the coins in one pocket and the jumbo in the right pocket. I typically only have been carrying 1 deck of cards, and that's just my practice deck that I'll carry around with me. And this goes in my back pocket with my wallet. And then this will just go, if I'm wearing my vest or something, that'll go in there, or it goes in my top pocket, just somewhere fun. So what I wanted to show you is I want to show you this in case of emergency, right? So I like to keep this just in case. And I can actually set this up just like that. Now, ideally, with a trick like this, it's pre-set up, right? So we can go through real quick. Even as we're talking, that's fine. You're just like, okay, do I have a full deck here? I just want to make sure that all the cards are in the deck before we get started. And basically all you're doing is just trying to find your cards for your setup. That's really all you need to do. So what's really nice about this, I made this just on my printer. It looks like I'm missing a card. So that's fun. Unless it's sticking together with something. Okay, well that's fun. Oh, there it is. Found it. Beautiful. Okay, so the premise of this trick is it requires you got 3 cards that you're going to use. And basically to set it up, it gives you 3 steps. In case of emergency, step 1, you just turn over, right? So we're going to turn over the king. Okay. Now, is that how this trick goes? No, that's not how this trick goes. How this trick goes is pretty simple. So, basically you'd have a card selected. You can go with the ace. You snap your fingers, you put that down there. Why do we snap our fingers? I don't know, magic. So, in case of emergency, if we can't find your card, we turn it over. So that was the king, right? That was the first one that we turned over. But that's not... Okay, but so if that's your card. Step 2 is we're going to open it. Oh, okay, so there's the ace. So that was the second card that we found. And then the step 3 is that we're going to open and turn over. Okay, so open and... Oh, and turn over. Oh, okay. Well, that's the 7. Well, wait a second. This can't be... Oh, it is. So this is kind of like my version of the insurance policy that I made. And that was just... I haven't really done anything with this in quite a while, but I wanted to get it back out because I'm not sure how I want to go about using it. Just because something that has been discussed recently on, like Doug Kahn and a couple of other people that I've been watching, the insurance policy is a big hit. It's a good closer. So I'm thinking, how would I go about doing that with my little thing here? So that would be a decent closer for a card routine, and it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily ambitious. All of the cards are on here, And potentially what could be done is a lot of so like you can have card number 1, and then that would be card number 2, similar to like what I did, where first I turned over this card and I'm like, nah, I don't know if I want that one. Let's have a card selected from the middle, and then you produce the ace, which is a double, and then you put the 7 down, so they never see that, but that's going to be the card at the end. So, you know, it's a little gimmicky, it's tragic. Maybe I should come up with a story of how this is. I have a t-shirt too that has I could potentially do a reveal on. I'm pretty sure it's the King of Hearts and not the King of Spades, or it might be the King of Spades. I don't remember. Either way, so maybe it's a little bit of a story in case of emergency. Maybe this is the villain, right? And this is his web of lies, because he's looking for the treasure, you know, the treasure. So that's a potential thing that could happen there. Yeah. So there could be a story trick going on. But yeah, that's my thoughts on carrying this. As you can see, though, the good and bad aspect of this is that you can make this on pretty much any editing software on your computer. And if you've got a printer, you can just print it off. And if you're really tricky, you can do a whole brochure style thing with this. So I just have 3 cards selected, simple instructions in case of emergency, such as this murder mystery, right? Murder mystery is we got to find out who did it. And if you turn over, maybe you do like a 3 thing. This could really work with flipping a coin, because I have coins, or maybe some dice. Doug Kahn has the Quince dice. Maybe something like that could work, and just tie in the murder mystery. I think Clue uses the die, so you could make this like a murder mystery like Clue, where you basically have 3 cards selected. Somehow. Let's see, how do we want to do that? So, today we have a little murder mystery for you, in case of emergency, but we're going to take a look at that later on. The first thing we want to do is, we have to, like the game of Clue, we have to have 3 cards selected. And those 3 cards are going to be the person, the place, and the thing, right? So let's see here. I think first up what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut the cards. Okay? And that's going to be our villain, the murderer, if you will. Okay? Next up what we need is we need to find the place. This is where it all happened, right? Beautiful. And last but not least, what we're going to need is we're going to need to find out what the murder weapon was. Yeah. There it is. So in case of emergency, this is the little booklet that you would have to tell you. And we've got step number 1, turn over. So we'll turn this over. And I think this is going to be... Nope, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Here we go. There's that one. Okay, so that's going to be the person. Okay, next step is to open, which is going to give us the place, which this looks like the spider web, the design. You know, that's the whole plan. And last but not least, it says open and turn over, which is going to give us the weapon. And there's my little murder mystery. And it gives you a nice little display. Everything's beautiful. I think that could work. It just needs a little bit of work on the setup, of course. So, we'll work on that later. Maybe we'll do a building a card routine and we'll work on that. So, there you have it, everybody. Thank you everybody for joining for the pocket management, pocket show, and a little bit of magic theory. Remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.